Greetings and welcome to the Prime Directive. I'm your host Jefficho, and my co-host is always Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
So we just got back from the Star Trek convention. Did you have a lot of fun?
I had so much fun.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased with the whole experience. The hotel, the Rio is off the strip, so that was an inconvenience. That free shuttle thing they told us was not true.
Yeah, apparently they've had for quite a while a shuttle service that'll actually take you to the strip proper and a couple of the hotels in their group. But when we got there, we found out they weren't doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So it was a little disappointing. You got to spend like $25 American at least getting there and back every time you want to get out in a taxi.
Yeah.
Because you're not walking anywhere in midsummer Vegas heat.
I heard a lot of complaints before we left or whatever about the Rio, like noisy plumbing, thin walls, but like the convenience alone, and our room was nice, but the convenience alone of like just being able to go up to your room, drop your stuff off or whatever, change, like everything.
Yeah. If we weren't staying at the Rio and we were having to drag things back and forth to that hotel every time, and again, like every day it would have been a cab.
Yeah.
So it would have been completely ridiculous. So if you are considering going next year, I would definitely stay at the Rio.
Yeah, it's just far easier.
Mm-hmm. And the rooms were nice. They were a lot bigger than I was expecting. I was, for whatever reason, just expecting to get like jammed in there, but I guess Vegas is made entirely of hotels, and real estate's not exactly at a premium in the desert, so it's good.
Yeah, it was hot. Step outside at night and it's still bloody hot. But next time I'm gonna upgrade, get us a bigger room with a hot tub.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you need is a hot tub.
Engage monitor.
Come to Quarks Bar. This is fun. Come right now. Don't walk. Run!
Oh, I love the part where my name rotates around.
Day one was a lot of fun. We had the Quarks Bar set up. It wasn't nearly as cool as when they had it at the Hilton and it was an actual bar.
Yeah.
You missed out on that experience, man, because that was cool.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually a little disappointed with the whole Quarks Bar thing.
Yeah, it was a banquet room.
Yeah, they did have a couple Ferengi in there, but they weren't serving drinks most of the time.
Yeah.
They had like that sort of big giant symbol or tapestry or whatever Quark has in there in DS9. But all they had were 2 Star Trek themed drinks.
Yeah.
And they were both like $12 or $14 American.
Yeah, no, when I went to the Hilton or whatever, they had a big gift shop and they had Romulan ale, which was basically blue Budweiser.
Yeah.
But like, they should have updated. There should have been menus too. Like, you can make money. You can make money. You just serve food and call it something terrible from Star Trek.
Yeah, well, they did have like sandwiches and stuff off to the side there, but no, they weren't doing a big thing. The Quarks Bar probably was the only real disappointing aspect of it. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just they really could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah, I went at one night or whatever, and they were showing some Voyager on there, so
Why Voyager? We know how you feel like yeah.
Still watched it.
I can't explain what I'm doing, but you must allow me to continue.
Then we started off with the 25th anniversary of DS9, kicking off with Colmini and Hanahate. They were in the theater there.
Yeah, they were saying that that's the Hanahate, of course, being Molly, Chief O'Brien's daughter, and they were saying up there that's the first time that they've, I think, met back up since the show ended.
I thought they said it like a year or two before or whatever, but yeah, no, they hadn't seen each other in a while. Yeah. And she's grown up, not height-wise. But,
no, that girl is tiny.
She's pushing 30 now.
Yeah.
Naturally, Jeff had to run go get a photo with her. I'm like, Molly, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. There were some interesting stories out of that. Overall, it didn't really talk too much about DS9 though. Mm-hmm. Which is, the whole theme of the thing. This is your kickoff DS9 thing with Chief O'Brien and his daughter Molly. So what are you guys up to today? Well, I worked on this.
Yeah. Oh man, one thing that I thought was funny was, and it started immediately with Colmini, but everyone kept saying we're not supposed to get political and we're not going to get political here. But as soon as he mentioned like, my favorite movie I've been watching is this one about the rise of fascism in Italy. And speaking of fascism, pretty much everyone had to go off.
Every single panel was, we're not going to get political, and then they're like, we need to get rid of this fuck.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess we were gonna get that going down to the States.
I didn't hear any like there was always cheering whenever they did that. So like
preaching to the choir for sure.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any Star Trek Trump supporters.
No.
Even though he's gonna have his Space Force.
Yeah, we're getting it.
Yeah,
we're going there.
It kind of excites me a little bit.
We're gonna get one good thing out of this.
Yeah,
be Space Force.
Yeah, then there were some. There was a lot of panels where it was guest stars of the original series, Next Generation. I was a little disappointed with the original because I didn't recognize any of them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a while.
I didn't go to that one.
And a lot of them did one episode, and it's just like, that's cool that they're there, and it's nice you can get the option.
The Gorn was there.
Yeah, the man playing the Gorn. So what was it like to put on a suit and go, ah?
Well, it was super fucking hot.
Yeah. Shot it in the desert.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see the authors and books. I would have liked to see that panel just because I read a lot of the books. It would have been interesting to see their take on stuff. You did go to the Trek Gamers and Games. How was that?
That was interesting. It was actually a lot more representation as far as questions go from my stupid mobile game that I hate that I'm not going to plug here because I hate it. But if you do play the Star Trek mobile game, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was them, Star Trek Online, and Star Trek Adversaries, and they were all talking about mostly with respect to Discovery, how like working with CBS, and it can be sort of challenging with the timelines they have to work with. Like CBS doesn't give them so much information really ahead of time because they can't ruin all this twists for Discovery. So.
Yeah, I heard that like a week before when they were told, "Here's Burnout, and you need to do it."
Yeah, something like that. So that was pretty interesting. And the new one was the Star Trek Adversaries. And if anyone out there plays Hearthstone, when I played the beta, at least, it was essentially a Hearthstone clone. But they were pretty excited about that game, and they were hyping that up a lot throughout the convention as a whole, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of times there's a couple panels going on at the same time when I want to see the other one, and you can only see one.
Yeah.
I think I was watching, Stars of Trek or whatever, which had Dina Meyer from Starship Troopers and Nemesis, and a couple other ones on there I really enjoyed hearing the stories from. And the best part of listening to them is like, oh shit, what was that thing I did, or what was my ship's name?
And someone just yells it out from the audience.
Commander Dinatra of the Warbird Baldur. Might we be of assistance?
Assistance?
The Empire considers this a matter of internal security. We regret you become involved.
It's the Valdor! Come on, you were in it. Yeah, and after that I decided, no, I need a picture of Dana Meyer. Spent a lot of money on pictures.
Yeah.
Then we saw John Delancey with Corbin Benson on Deja Q. Mm-hmm. They're a pretty good comedy duo up there.
Yeah, what I felt sort of, it was odd watching some of the panels because they'd have a moderator, and even then it seemed like the moderator just wasn't asking many questions to the non-Star Trek guest.
Yeah.
Like he had so many questions for John Delancey, and he didn't ask the other guy from what was the episode he was in?
Deja Q.
He didn't ask the I forget the actor's name, but the other Q in Deja Q.
Corbin Benson.
Was a teeny bit selfless, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there's my problem. See, I can't go back to the Continuum and tell them that you committed a selfless act just before the end. If I do, there's going to be questions, there's going to be explanations for centuries.
I've learned my lesson, Q.
He didn't ask him much, and of course the fans are mostly going to want to ask John Delancey things.
Yeah, well, I felt bad for Hannah because everything was like, hey, how you doing there, Colomini?
Because it would have been nice if I feel like they didn't get too much time to prepare backstage, maybe talk to each other. Say, this is what we're.
I think they just meet up. They go out there. They show maybe a couple questions at best, and then they're like, and the fans are going to throw some questions at you.
Yeah, but I probably, if I was moderating that, I probably would have made more of an effort to get the outsider's perspective on it, right?
Yeah, no, I was totally thinking if if I was moderating before we went to the convention, like, the questions I would ask them and stuff, and so it's like, yeah.
It's actually hard. It's hard to get up there in front of the giant room and actually want to ask them something.
When I got up and went up for that one question, like, I was just like heart pounding, like, I'm so fucking nervous. And then by the time I got up there, because they took so long to answer all the questions, I'm like, okay, I'm good now. Ship design, I really want to see that, but you told me it wasn't going to be what I wanted.
No, that was something I noticed with a couple of these panels. Is they were almost clickbaity with the titles. Like, a lot of the time, what they were discussing did end up being interesting, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. The ship design panel, for example, was actually mostly about reverse engineering ship design. Like, these were guys from the comics industry or the model industry or the game industry, talking about how a lot of the time all they have are stills from the show to work with when they want to actually make a physical 3D model for their model or for their in-game ship. And they kind of have to figure out what the heck's going on from the episode, or maybe they'll have some behind-the-scenes pictures of the original model, and sort of the challenges involved in that.
They have to do a lot of it for the video games too. It's just like, what does this do?
Thank you for beaming me here and enabling me to see a truly beautiful woman.
Mr. O'Connor appears to have excellent vision.
We got an episode screening of The Outrageous O'Connor.
I actually quite liked that. That was interesting.
Oh, it's cracking jokes throughout it. Other people were making comments. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, watching a Star Trek episode with like a couple thousand other Star Trek fans in the room was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of laughs too. Like, I'm laughing at stuff that I wouldn't normally laugh at because I know everybody else is getting a joke. Yeah, we all found it more funny. And we got the follow up with Joe Piscopo and Brent Spiner.
Yeah, and again, that was the recurring thing, was the moderator wasn't giving Piscopo much. Like, he just kept talking to Brent. Like, he was just sitting there the whole time. I felt bad for the guy.
And Brent's a talker. He would go on, and whenever Joe would pipe up, he'd be like, "That's enough out of you, Joe."
I have to actually say, like, I appreciated that for another reason, because I just always knew the guy from that episode was a comic, but I didn't know who. I never recognized him. And I guess I could have just looked at the guest star credit. But I'm like, oh, it's Joe Piscopo. I know who that is.
Yeah.
But they always just refer to him in the episode as comic.
More freebies, huh? No cover, no minimum, just comic continue? Well, tell me, Data, what happened?
I told a joke.
And?
No one laughed.
No one? Nobody in the whole room?
I was the whole room.
Might as well talk about the vendors. We toured that like constantly.
Yeah, it was Garrett Wong is really into it. He doesn't just have a little signing table. He's got his own vendor's booth.
Yeah.
Where he's selling like t-shirts and merch and stuff. So
yeah, you got yourself a nice Captain Proton shirt.
Yeah, that was awesome. Mike Okuda said he liked my shirt. Shout out to Mike Okuda. That's what we sort of mean when you're just seeing these people everywhere, because they're in the same hotel, they're walking around.
Yeah, we got the elevator with Nicole DeBoer. That was fun.
And didn't say goddamn things. It was awkward.
Well, when she said it, made her nauseous, because those are some fast elevators.
Yeah.
We were just like, yeah, it goes too fast.
It goes too fast.
But there's a ton of t-shirt places. I've upgraded more Star Trek outfits for myself. And then there's I like that they had the 8x10 photos that were $6. Like, you go to the table and buy it off the actual actor, it's like $20-$40.
Oh, really? Was it?
Yeah, but the table's $6. Here you go. So I'm like,
I got them in bulk.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised with the lack of Discovery merchandise in general.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to warm fans up to it, though.
Well, they were just filleting Discovery up on the stage. Everyone who got up on the stage was like, Discovery is the best thing ever. And they're like, I like it. It's pretty good. It's got its problems, but I guess they can't go up there and say, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No,
I like this. I didn't like that.
Tell me a first season that rocked in Star Trek.
The original series.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. But yes, other than that, it's been questionable.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of Eagle Moss stuff there. You ended up getting a ship or two, right?
I got the Romulan Warbird, the Derridix class, or however the hell you say that.
I totally would have got a Valdor, but they didn't have it.
I've been hearing Eagle Moss's stuff get hyped up a lot. I listened to a Star Trek podcast, shout out to Mission Log, and they're getting sponsored by Eagle Moss a lot and talking about their ships, and yeah, they were really good quality.
I left it in the other room, but my Enterprise E, like, that's the size of the ship I want.
Yeah.
And Eagle Moss is generally smaller.
Yeah, they're just little ones. They do have some bigger stuff now, which I also really liked and like weren't crazy expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, there was...
What else did they have in there? They had IDW, they had a little comic publishing place. There were a lot of people just selling t-shirts and little trinkets or whatever.
I really wanted to get that Mirror Universe collection, Picard, all buff.
Yeah.
When I talked to the guys, it's like, oh, we don't have any. I'm like, but what about these ones? Oh, we got different covers for that. I'm like, I'll take it. Oh, we don't have them here. Like, where can I get this?
Yeah, I don't actually know if they have them out, but yeah, I would like just a collection of that whole
I don't care what the cover is, as long as it's like a Mirror Universe cover. It's no cool.
Yeah.
There was your usual like I posted a picture on our Facebook page or whatever for Jefficho Films, like all these plates, like just a ton of Star Trek plates, a lot of them signed. There's just so much memorabilia that it's just like I would tour that like 2-3 times a day.
Yeah, you're always going to notice something you didn't last time.
Yeah. And then, there's things that are like, $40, $60 that you can get on Amazon for $12.
But it's part of the experience, yeah.
Well, you gotta control your wallet, Chris.
Yeah.
Alright, so day 2. I don't know if we mentioned Sons of Kirk, but that was Gary Graham's little band there. They would kind of play people on, play people off. He was the Vulcan ambassador from Enterprise.
And they were actually good. I was worried that the Star Trek novelty band would just be kind of awful.
But yeah, they added some comedy to the stuff. What else did we get? Voyager panel. I was actually kind of excited for this.
Yeah.
As much as I will jump on Voyager for being a bit slow and, TNG light as it's described, still Star Trek.
Oh yeah. And, Garrett Wang was on that panel, and that dude, he always kills it at conventions. If you have the opportunity to go to a convention where Garrett Wang's going to be there, do it, because that guy has an amazing attitude, lots of energy, is really passionate about Star Trek and his
super
work on
nice
it.
guy.
Yeah, he was very, very sociable with everyone at his booth.
I believe when they were all talking about scenes that they'd like to redo or their favorite scene, they all said kissing Jerry Ryan.
Yeah, she was right up on the stage there. I'm like, guys, come on.
I would like to do the one that where I got to kiss Jerry.
I would also like to redo the episode where I kissed Jerry. I was so nervous.
It was good. It was nice to see Chakotay.
He's
Robert Benton or whatever.
I've heard he wasn't too excited about his character or his role on the show.
Yeah, well, that's why I was kind of surprised he was there, because I heard a lot of the negative stuff about his view on his character. So they gave him 7 at the end. Should be happy.
Yeah, probably.
Then we got guest stars of Trek again. I didn't mind that one. It had Musetta Vander, who I've seen in every single sci-fi ever.
I've got a picture with her.
I got a picture with her. I was like, oh my god, she's from Stargate. She's from everything. Yeah, that was good. Jason Isaacs.
That was a great panel.
Didn't need a monitor, just went on his own.
Yeah, that was excellent. I really liked that they brought the bowl of fortune cookies out for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was actually reading what was in there, if he was just making them up, but he was just...
I'm pretty sure he was making them up.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. But he just cracks it open. Saru is a dish best served cold.
Yeah. He was hilarious, and like I've said before, this guy is a great ambassador for Trek, because he can shit talk you right back.
Oh yeah.
If you've got something negative, he's got no delay on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope that he's coming back on Discovery. It sounds like he's probably going to make an appearance in season 2.
I'm still betting on that Tilly sport.
Get off the stage, they're sick of you. You will meet a handsome stranger who looks like you, but with a goatee.
Yeah, it was really interesting hearing him talk about, his experience with Lorca's secret and his backstory, and how they told him, from the beginning he was going to have a secret, which was, he said, was really exciting as an actor because it gives you like an angle to play in all his scenes. He knows something that the audience doesn't, and that's really interesting to play with. But apparently they were sort of dicking him around with what the secret was going to be.
Yeah, they had 4 or 5 different things, and so he just kept going, well, what is it? I need to know.
Yeah, he didn't want to sign on until they told him what the heck was going on.
Finally, like, the showrunner's just like, okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's one of these 2.
Yeah, he just couldn't get it nailed down.
Yeah. But, he was hilarious. Like, I'd totally go back to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got into Discovery storytelling.
Yeah.
Which, they all gave us really long answers for everything. And then I went up there to ask a question.
Yeah, you did.
And I tried to embarrass Chris as good as I could. I'm just like, my friend Chris is just obsessed with Tilly.
Yeah.
And we want to know about this spore that landed in her shoulder, and then they just cut me right off.
That suggests to me that they absolutely know something.
Oh, they're just like, oh, what spore? What are you talking about? Oh, they did just get out of here, kid. And then it's just like, yeah, no, they wouldn't make that comment if there was nothing there.
Yeah.
They'd be like, maybe you're reading into it. Like they could have deflected that a million ways.
Yeah. But that was immediate. That was the thing.
Right away.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need some long ass answer from them. I just want to throw something out there and see what they're gonna do. And got what I wanted. Enterprise panel with Phlox, Keating, Linda Park. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Keating and Phlox are just like shit stirrers. They're hilarious.
Yes.
Just trying to disrupt the panel the whole time.
She's a Vulcan. Oh, she's pretty. Oh, God. She's got an awfully nice bum.
Yeah, and again, he only wanted to talk to Hoshi. Yeah. The whole panel was just the moderator talking to Hoshi.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but Dominic Keating's pretty cool too. But I think they all got asked overall, what would they have liked to see. A few panels did this. What would they like to see more if they had more to go on? And they all said just more development. I want to go further. I felt they really slowly developed them, and they felt they could have gone faster. Which maybe was a little flaw with the show. First couple seasons were kind of slow.
Yeah, the first couple seasons were very episodic, which I guess coming from a Trek background, there's nothing wrong with that for me. But the seasons 3 and 4 we all know are the meat of Enterprise.
I was surprised to find out that Linda Park's favorite episode was the Mirror Universe ones.
My favorite episode.
Well, this is a lot of fun. It's my favorite episode to see her in.
Yeah.
Then we got the Women of Trek thing. I think you sat through more of that than I did because I had to go off and get myself another photo with Linda Park.
Yeah. That was interesting. It had Marina Sirtis on, so I wanted to sit around and...
She's hilarious.
Yeah, she would see what she thought. She has such an attitude on her. She just doesn't give a heck.
Does not.
She'll say whatever she wants.
It's so much fun, though.
Yeah.
And I think we ended the day with men yelling Khan.
I didn't go see that one.
Oh.
I sat that one out.
Yeah. No, that was it. It was entertaining, and then they had all these ambassadors up there one day, and somebody's just like, "All right, come on up here," and the guy proposed. Proposing at a Star Trek convention.
That's nice, but if I ever get to that point in my life, I need you to just phaser me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to propose at a Star Trek convention.
All right. Well, I got better ideas than Star Trek convention for you, but don't worry. Day 3, DS9 Tribute Part 2 with Castanira. That was another one where they asked him, it was like, oh, were you happy with your characters and how they developed? And they're all just like, yeah, no, for the most part. A lot of them, Ezra was on there for one season.
Yeah.
So, not much to complain. She got a lot of screen time in that one season.
Well, yeah, because they had to.
Yeah.
They couldn't just throw her in.
That's a tough one. Here's a brand new character for the last season.
Yeah.
If they knew whether it was going to be the last season or not. But
and it was because she's only a half brand new character.
Yeah, well, just carrying around Dax inside.
Yeah.
But we didn't get a lot out of this. I thought some of the panels, they didn't give us some of the stories we wanted to hear, and we'll get into the Chekhov one later. But overall, it was nice to hear from them, see what they're up to.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson up next.
That also excellent.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. There's actually clips on YouTube of him just berating people. Just.
$6 a month. Can I have a mochaccino, frappuccino, macchiato with extra mocha, vanilla? How much will that be? $6.
There was one guy next to us that was very upset about that.
Oh, he got up and left?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
Some people hate Discovery even more than you do.
Yeah, well, if you can't handle a little criticism, sit there quietly and enjoy it. I just saw his movie Meg or whatever. That was entertaining, I'll say that. Not great, but I think he pretty much told us that without saying it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a popcorn movie, guys. Have fun. And then we had Walter Koenig Chekhov. That was an awkward panel at times.
A little bit. He was having a lot of trouble hearing people.
Yeah, he walked all the way down to talk to somebody at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I thought when people started asking him questions about other castmates, he's like, oh, I don't want to talk about our personal relationship with them. But when we saw George, it's like, oh yeah, me and Walter, and just telling great stories.
George Takei and William Shatner were both holding up pretty well.
Yeah. Somebody did finally ask the Babylon 5 question, which is what I'm dying to hear about, because I love them in Babylon 5. Like, here's a character you've been stuck playing Chekhov, and then here you come back in Babylon 5, and you just made a great character.
I actually did think it was pretty interesting what he was talking about. Honestly, his role in the original series was quite minimal. And having all this fan adoration for the series as a whole, sort of, also coming after him, and how he felt like he just didn't deserve it at all, because he honestly didn't get to do much as an actor.
Yeah, there was definitely some humbleness to him in that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I was left with a weird vibe.
Yeah.
Frakes and Sturgis, man, I could listen to those two go on forever.
Yeah, they were excellent. Some people really, some of these panels really could have gone on for a lot longer.
He's literally the playful Riker that he is when he's with Deanna in Insurrection. Mm-hmm. It's just that is him.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but great stories. I actually was just talking to a friend of ours, husband, and he was just saying, oh, I met Frakes, and nicest guy in the world, showed me a bunch of stuff and directing and that.
Mm-hmm.
I could listen, and
we walked by him at the airport on the way back.
Yeah, walked by him. I of course had to get a photo with him.
Yeah.
While wearing my Frakes shirt.
Yeah.
He also said that he had talked to Seth MacFarlane that day, and that he was allowed to tell everybody that Marina is going to be on Orville.
Yeah. I think we had seen some rumblings of her being on the set, but that's awesome.
Even I think Albert F. Murray Abraham or something. I'm not going to say his name right, but the Academy Award winner from Insurrection, the bad guy. Yeah, he's going to be on that episode too. So.
Oh, cool.
And they went on about Frakes of directing and how it's really come along. When he started, he was over-prepared, and now he's just easiest guy to work with for men and women, and just really understands the business.
Yeah, it's awesome to see him do well.
We got a little bit of the Ds9 documentary talk.
That was a little underwhelming. Ira did
It's just hey guys, we started this 3 years ago. I thought it was going to be easier. Now I'm really working hard. It's coming. We promise.
Yeah, Ira didn't want to talk about anything that was going to be in the documentary. I felt like he could have, in general terms, said some things, but he's just that's going to be in the documentary, so I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple hours. Give me some stories.
Yeah. He doesn't have to give you the story. He just said, we're going to talk about this, and there's some interesting information about that, but I don't want to share it until it comes out.
Well, I think what we found out it's going to come out this year at least, near the end of the year. And they also said that if you want to see DS9 in Blu-ray, that you need to support this documentary.
Yeah, they did show us a clip from the doc that was in HD. And
it was on a screen, so the HD wasn't great, but definite improvement. And that is the series to have in HD with all the different aliens, all the space battles. It's just a beautiful series, and I'd love to have that. I'd get that so quickly. I wouldn't even wait for it to get cheap like it did Enterprise. But yeah, no, that was the stuff I wanted to see. Was some of it in HD and find out more about that. And I'm glad somebody asked that question because that's do all the other ones, man. I'd even get Voyager if they actually did it in HD, and then I'd finally rewatch Voyager. We got some Enterprise karaoke that night. I mean, that was fun. Yeah, watching Malcolm run around, and I'm just gonna go back and forth between their Trek names and stuff. And then was it Connor Trinneer couldn't be there, so Harry jumped up.
Yep.
And then and Hannah was there, and who else? Travis.
Oh yeah, he did a song. He wasn't. I don't think he was quite actually hosting, but he came up and did a song.
He came up, maybe a few sheets to the wind, and had some fun with the rest of them, that was the thing. Like, there were some good singers, there were some really bad singers, but it was just, let's have some fun. Day 4, Kate Mulgrew. I skipped that.
She was good.
I believe I went for a photo.
Oh yeah, you were doing that a lot. You skipped some important things for a photo, my friend.
We'll get to that pretty soon. But, did Kate have any interesting stories to tell you, or?
Yeah, she had a lot of interesting things to talk about. A lot of it was talking about Orange is the New Black. A lot of the actors are, I guess, understandably more interested in talking about what they're currently doing because it's fresh and exciting for them. She was talking about some of her experiences, as being a mother and not being away from her children for so long, just to actually be on set all the time and making all these calls. And I think it's fairly well known that Jerry Ryan and Kate Mulgrew did not get along very well in some of the earlier years. There is Kate Mulgrew felt sort of why are we bringing this sort of fluff piece on board, and it's supposed to be something about
gorgeous girl,
sort of being like it's about a strong woman,
had a little sex appeal.
But then she felt like it was sort of being dumbed down, the sex appeal or whatever. But I believe they've since mended fences. But it was interesting hearing her talking about how the character of 7 of 9 was very good for the character of Janeway. She was talking about how Janeway, she's been cut off from her husband. She doesn't have children, but then this young sort of childlike character in 7 of 9 comes on board, and we get to see another side of Janeway. The actress gets to play some more angles with that.
A lesson in compassion will do me little good if I am dead.
It is wrong to sacrifice another being to save our own lives.
I have observed that you have been willing to sacrifice your own life to save the lives of your crew.
Yes, but that's different.
Yeah, she really thought 7 of 9 was a great thing for Janeway.
Well, she really did help, I think, add a little more interest to that, not the sex appeal side or whatever, like just her character. She was like a Spock-esque character, but we also had the Doctor, who was also similar to that, discovering their humanity.
Mm-hmm. And people say all the time, and honestly Jerry Ryan was brought on for sex appeal, but she ended up being like really one of the strongest actors, one of the best characters, and they did, that was an amazing decision.
Next up we had George Takei, and he went on a lot about his Allegiance play that he's been doing, all about his Japanese internment camps and stuff in America, and of course that led to the politics.
Also, well, he had a very good reason to be upset about it.
Oh yeah,
but, yeah.
Sure. He did point out that as a child it was easier to accept his environment, but on his parents it was harder. And sounds a very interesting story, and it seems like that's a direction he's going in right now. Because he's gonna be filming a movie in Vancouver here in November, and he's afraid because of the horror stories of November. It's gonna rain, dude. It's not gonna snow.
Yeah. Welcome to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't count.
But he's filming a lot to do on that subject. Mm-hmm. And overall, he's a great talker. He could understand.
Yeah, he was doing great.
He had some good. He's getting up there in the age, but looking good.
Yeah, he's all there. Knows how to work with the crowd still.
Yeah.
Mr. Spock has orders to kill you, Captain. He will succeed. Apparently. You will also appear to have killed him after a fierce battle.
I loved. He had a lot of good stories. I really loved his Chekhov story.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there with Chekhov, and they're at the food table, and Chekhov winks at him and nods, and he's just looks behind him. There's a couple extras in tight spandex outfits, and he's just
George is just like, this is the most gorgeous man I've ever seen.
And he's just like, he looks back at Walter and he's like winking at him, and it's like, Walter knew. They all knew it, but they all kept his secret because he wanted a career in Hollywood.
Yeah, he would have been, just completely out at that time in the 60s, of course. But and then Walter is like, I don't want to discuss.
I don't want to discuss my relationship with
George, which was weird, but okay.
Then we not much went on after that. Actually, I felt in the whole thing. I mean, Shatner came out and they had a panel, and he was pretty good. I really enjoyed his stuff. So he's shooting a documentary, and he's trying to find a way to budget this stuff and like afford to get his crew. And so he just calls up an airline and be like, "Hi, this is William Shatner, and I want to borrow a plane."
Give me a plane.
Yeah, they totally did it.
Yeah,
it's like
because like the CFO or CEO or whoever he ended up in contact with was like, "I'm only here. I only got into aeronautical engineering or whatever because of Star Trek. So have a plane."
Pay it forward.
Yeah,
it was a really good story. And he was really great on the mic. And then then I went off to get my Jonathan Frakes photo, which was a bit delayed. He actually had to come back for like 4 of us or something. And that was my time. What happened when I left? Did Shatner just song and dance it up? Rocket Man.
I'm not the man they think I am. Oh no. I'm a rocket man.
There was a little thing after you left there. Alex Kurtzman came out, I believe, who's doing the new stuff on
the guy that's been signed to a 5-year deal to franchise the hell out of Trek, but
And he was just talking about their plan on expanding the Star Trek franchise. He confirmed that there would be a new series. Wow.
Animated series? I heard there's going to be an animated series.
I'm glad I was able to look at the medical section of the library, at least briefly. There's a technique that I'm sure will lead me to a cure for the common cold.
No, I think this one's going to be live action.
Oh, that's cool.
And
is it the con one? Because I heard the con one is, getting worked on and stuff by Nick Myers.
He said he didn't feel like he could talk about it, though, because he wasn't the right person. So he passed the mic off to someone else. And out comes...
Was it anybody expected to be there?
Well, no, it was not. Out comes, a Trek actor, a little-known Trek actor you may have heard of before, which was Patrick Stewart!
I got this text like, oh my god, Patrick Stewart's here.
Yeah. So that was insane. He wasn't supposed to be at the convention. He wasn't booked on for anything. That was a total surprise to everyone. And they've been hyping up this. There's going to be a surprise after Shatner's thing. So stick around,
and
guys.
I'm just like, come on, Frakes, hurry up! I gotta get this photo and get back in that room.
Stick around, guys. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be another Discovery Season 2 trailer. There's going to be like 1 extra scene in there. Whatever.
I'm Picard from the future.
And then out comes Captain Goddamn Picard to announce that there's going to be a new series with Patrick Stewart as Picard.
Yeah.
This is the first thing we're getting since 2002 that's not a prequel.
Oh yeah, that's an excellent point.
That is blowing my mind.
Wow. Yeah, everything's been prequel.
Yeah, every single thing. So the big questions are, how much Picard is actually going to be in this? Like, is he going to be the main character? Is he going to just be like show up every couple episodes? He's got to be the main character.
I think he's main character. I actually did a small little 3-minute video on this or whatever, my thoughts, but overall it's just like, it's probably going to have to be a smaller story because the work that would go into advancing the civilizations and races by 20 years is insane, because it takes place 20 years after Nemesis. So,
it's a 20 years older Picard than the last time we saw him.
Yeah, and he said he's probably not going to be captain, or he said he might not be captain, he might not be the same person you remember, he'll be changed by the experiences.
Yeah.
But he also said, and I pointed this out too, he was inspired to come back because of the fans. He says he keeps running into fans and doesn't get tired of it, except when he's eating. But they're telling him how much they've changed their lives or whatever, that Star Trek has inspired them, the next generation, that Picard, all this has just inspired them, and so that's inspired him to come back.
Yeah.
So if he comes back and we get some dark Discovery Picard,
no,
I can't see that, because the reason he came back would be to continue that along.
I can see it starting that way, because, you know, this is the same problem we had with the early episodes of Discovery, and you have to take it in chunks. Like, it's going to start dark, and instead of being dark for 20 minutes, it's going to be dark for like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then the whole season, you know, that's where you get your arc and your development in.
I think I'm just going to repeat a lot of stuff in that video, but I think a lot of the feels of series that go on at the same time tend to bleed into them, whereas Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, very similar for a while.
Yeah.
DS9 grew out of it, I don't think Voyager did. But we got the JJ Star Treks and we got the Discovery, and they've got a similar feel.
Yeah.
So if they have another series coming out, is it going to have a similar feel of Discovery? I think it might start.
Part of the reason Stewart came back is because he was really impressed with the pitch. Like, whatever the pitch was, like, he really liked it. Because that was always the thing, is he was done with the character unless something like really good came along. And apparently it has, so I mean, my hype's up there. And the other big question I have is, if we see a Klingon, what are they going to look like, Jeff?
I've also stated this, if they look like Discovery, I'm going to be so upset. Like, who's this Ambassador Worf? That doesn't look like Worf.
Is it even Michael Dorn?
You can't do it. You can't go back.
No.
You know, in 10-15 years, you can give me another prequel series that did what Enterprise did and explain the Klingons.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to do that again.
That's a completely different tangent.
Yeah. But will we see anybody else? I actually ran into Gates McFadden at the convention and asked her, I'm like, are you gonna be in this? And she's like, I haven't heard anything. Like, I haven't been asked. So, you know.
Well, Stewart did say they didn't have a script done yet, so this is, you know, very much in the planning stage.
No, as a romantic, I've always just wanted to see those two get together, because
they need to.
She's the best girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We did that long countdown of all his love interests, and she was number one.
It's bad.
Yeah.
A lot of things can happen in 25 years.
Yeah, and then we went on to Disco Panel 1 and Disco Panel 2. It was fun. It was nice to see them. You know, got to see my boy Connor.
Yeah, your boy. Yeah, he's also got really good energy.
He is good on the mic, and it's like listening to him, and just him himself being a younger kid or whatever, and being an inexperienced officer on the ship and stuff. I think they really made a mistake killing him off, because that's something like people could relate to.
Yeah, but did they make a mistake killing him off the second time? I felt sort of bad for the guy, because that was just his thing. It's just, I'm here because I die a bunch.
Yeah. It's if I get another photo with him, because I totally had to get a photo with him. If I get another one, it's gonna be of like him dead.
I did think it was really funny how, because it was the Discovery panel, and all the cast members, because she wasn't there yet, were talking about how much they liked Sonequa and how great it was to work with her. And he's the last one down the line. And it gets to him, he's like, I'm going to have to disagree with everyone here. I do not like Sonequa. No. I don't want to be in the room with her. I don't want to be in an elevator with her. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, Rekha Sharma was there, Sarah Meach. I ran off to get photos with them too.
Yeah,
I wasn't there for panel 2, but you were.
Yeah, the biggest part of that was definitely Laurel and Admiral Cornwell there. There's been a video going around of them reenacting their scream, just yelling at each other on the stage, which was pretty funny. They were talking about how there was a lot of stuff cut from that episode that sort of developed their relationship more. And we were talking about when we were reviewing it, this episode was short, and why the heck did they cut that then? Which is still just baffling to me. I'm waiting for the...
well, especially since they trusted Laurel to end the war.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for the Blu-ray, because I hope it has some deleted scenes for that episode. I'm sure
I forget what day it was, but it's coming out in November.
Yeah, November.
That's a long wait, man.
Yeah.
For a Blu-ray. The movie's bringing it out faster than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then there was the costume contest. You know, it was nice to see some of these. A lot of effort that goes into it, man.
Mm-hmm. I like the tardigrade.
Yeah, the tardigrade.
Yeah,
that was a funny one. But I thought the Tholian was that was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vok won it though.
Yeah.
Firewolf is pretty much identical to how they do it in the movies or the series.
In the show, yeah, he looked like he just walked off set. So
yeah. Yeah, and well, that was the end for us there.
Yeah, we left on the Sunday.
Yeah,
that was a mistake.
I agree. We missed Femke Janssen, Enterprise Part 2, Disco Part 3, Ronald D. Moore, which somebody would have asked him some Battlestar questions for sure. Disco Part 4, George Takei Part 2, and Disco Part 5. So a lot of the disco stuff is there. However, you can watch it online. It's all on YouTube there. Mm-hmm. Also, they're not telling you anything. We're getting this. It's cool to find out stuff behind the scenes of season 1 and all that. But if you're going
like they're dropping hints.
Yeah, if you're going looking for season 2 and what's going to happen, who's going to be in it, they're not telling you anything.
No.
Yeah. So overall, I had a fantastic time. We went general admission, which I thought was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Well, Vegas entertainment-wise, because once the convention starts, you're doing that all day, and it was a very cheap way to spend your day in Vegas, all things considered.
Yeah. I'd probably go captain's chair next time just because there's a few extra benefits, but general admission's great. You get pretty much everything you want.
Oh, I was very satisfied with it.
You know, I definitely would go back and try and hit the panels that I missed.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, because we've hemmed and hawed about going to this for a couple of years, and we finally bit the trigger on it, and I think it was definitely worth it. And knowing what I do now, if we go back next year, it'll probably be even better.
Yeah. Maybe I won't spend as much money on pictures.
Maybe. Yeah, pictures with celebrities that no one else is going to recognize.
Hey, some of them are great.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of exhibits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'd have certain things set up, like the Tribble booth with the background of the original series, which was nice because it seemed like you were actually in it.
Yeah, you got a photo of me juggling tribbles.
Yeah, they had the transporter one, but they wanted money for that.
I think it depended on what time you got there. The money was for them adding the transporter effect digitally after.
Oh.
I think if you just walked up there, you could take a picture.
Should have done it.
Yeah.
No, for next time.
Mm-hmm.
They had a Discovery Mirror Universe whole room or whatever for it.
That one I really liked. They had all the, I assume those were all the actual props and outfits from the show. They had Captain Tilly's uniform.
Yeah, I believe it was Captain Killy, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the outfits, just so much detail into them. Some of them look amazing. I think the Vulcan one was my favorite though, because it looked like medieval almost.
Yeah.
I took a lot of photos there, so
I liked looking at all the little different badges they had for the Mirror Universe, 50 kills or whatever.
Yeah.
And they still weren't labeled. I don't know which one was which.
Yeah, I want to know. I poison a lot of people in my daily life. I need a badge for it. Which one do I get?
Yeah.
There was a Roddenberry one, which was just kind of you got to see the bridge too, but the Mirror Universe bridge. But there's a lot of artwork in the Roddenberry one. And
that was interesting. Apparently, I don't know if that made it into the final design, because certainly we never saw it on screen, but apparently the Defiant has saucer separation, or I don't know what you'd even call it.
Captain's yacht, I would say.
Yeah, it can separate at the front like the Enterprise does.
Yeah. There was a little thing of 10 forward in there.
It was, I assume, a very faithful recreation of 10 forward, but the lighting was wrong. It was in a very bright room, and it just looked wrong.
Well, they used it for photos, so I guess they wanted the light, but a few people I talked to in the lines are just I had to get it redone because the lighting was terrible. And
Yeah, because 10 forward is always very dark in the show, and this was just bright white lights on the thing, and it really looked wrong. I thought it was from, I honestly thought it was supposed to be a Voyager set piece, because that show has much brighter light in their mess hall.
Well, they really, they need to establish these other 10 forwards and other ships and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The cafeteria in Discovery is like a cafeteria. Come on, give it a cooler name.
Add salsa.
They had that Borg alcove set up there.
Yeah, that was cool. Guardiana Forever. Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting little photo ops just sort of scattered around.
And a lot of cosplay girls.
A lot of cosplay girls, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, that about covers everything for the convention, Chris. I will bring up the fact that there's several reports today about Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth in the new Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
Having some contract negotiation issues and walking away.
I mean, I'd like to see more Star Trek from that universe, especially after 3 was actually good, but you know, I'm not going to be terribly upset if that just dies.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a little awkward going forward, I think, without Chekhov.
It is, yeah, that's a problem.
But I would like to see more, and I do like the idea of bringing Hemsworth back. I think that will draw people back because it didn't make as much money as the other ones, and they need to find a way to do that. They already hired the director. They got a female director on board, and I think a lot of the other cast is signed, but yeah, maybe they have to cut Hemsworth to sign Pine. I don't know. Maybe they just have to swallow the fact they're going to have to pay him a bit more. They're bigger stars now.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think you should be stopping it. I don't think you should halt the progress right now that Star Trek is building right now.
Yeah.
Because it is franchising out, possibly bigger than Star Wars at some point.
I want to believe.
Well, you know, you can't say Star Wars is bigger because, you know, what live action television show do they have? It's coming, but I haven't seen it yet. Well, as always, thanks for watching.